All right, we're going to be working on a character design uh, of a character from the Godfrey universe Black Star trilogy books. This is set at the end of our timeline. This is a character named Rylan. Now he's wearing something that you've seen others of our characters wearing. This is called a shadow. Shadows are living armor. They're biological armor, and the history of the shadows and why they are ubiquitous throughout the different eras of the Godfrey universe. That's some deeper lore that will definitely be a huge part of the story. It's not something we want to reveal just yet, but we'll suffice to say for now that the idea of these shadows that are worn, these living armors that are worn, is that they are the standard for military power. Uh, and they have three eyes, and they cover the entire body with a very, very strong, almost impenetrable skin. There are only a very small number of things that can pierce the skin. One of those is a Lux blade, which, again, that's another piece of lore that we'll get into another day. But they strengthen the wearer, they make them physically stronger, faster, more agile, and any of those things. They also have a tail, which is in the books that we're writing, the comics, all those things. The tails are really cool, really fun to work with. They completely change the dynamics of a fight. And another thing that's really cool about the tails is that they end with a mouth with fangs that are uh, pretty vicious uh, weapons in their own right. All right, so this character of Rylan, he is a rebel character who is uh, seeking to overthrow God. He is a God foe in the universe. Again, the God of this universe is not the Christian God or the Judeo-Christian concept of God. It is a completely separate entity, and who and what it is in itself an awesome part of the story. What makes Ryland's shadow different from a lot of the others is that he has carved away the mouth into a bloody smile. And what you see underneath is that shadows have an entire set of teeth that are usually overgrown. They have been bred, they have been developed, and there are traits from the original shadows that have been genetically altered. So at one time, the shadows had mouths. They were genetically altered through the years to be more controllable, to completely lose their own consciousness. There was a time when shadows were conscious, and now they are more of a subservient living armor that has no sense of self. But Ryland's, we can see the teeth inside. There is also a ridge of bone stretching across the teeth, holding the jaw closed, preventing it from opening. So there's some interesting things about the design of his shadow versus others that are really cool. So this is a sketch of Rylan I did really quickly today, and I'm going to color it real quickly and let you sort of see some of my process when I start coloring. So basically what I'm going to do is just sort of flesh out some of the main sections of the character. There's those base colors, and then I will lay down other layers to get shading and more fine details in. So this first layer is it's okay if it's a little rough. You can always go back and tighten it up, work on top of it later. And for the purpose of these videos, this will be plenty. Depending on the work I'm doing, sometimes I may make every section or every color a separate layer. Makes it easier to manipulate later. In this case with Rylan, I know pretty well what I want to accomplish with his design, and this is just a quick tutorial style video anyway, so I'm not overwhelmingly concerned with layers at this point in the process. And later on it will become more important, but at the moment, not a big deal. Another aspect of the shadows themselves is that they heal fairly quickly, even when they are injured. So there's the idea that for Rylan to make this statement, freeing the mouth of his shadow, is something he would have to do on a repeated basis because it would heal and regrow, and every day or so he would need to again carve out the mouth, which is another layer of cruel and interesting. It tells you a lot about the type of character Rylan is. Now, I am going to finally go over here and start a new layer. Set the opacity low, around 40, 33, 39, something in there. I think we're going to go 35. Get my black and start putting in some shadows. Add some dimension to this design. Some texture. I'm digging this. It's got a little bit of that heavy metal hurlant French comics coloration that I enjoy. Whether I leave it this dark or not remains to be seen. I will probably adjust this layer down, make it a little bit less dark in just a moment. That's a little better. I'm going to add one more. These layers, I'm going to set it about the same opacity. Get a little bit of a larger brush and fill in an even darker row of shadows under some main objects. And then the center mass here. playing with some different gradients. So I'm going to come back here and adjust the main color palette some, see if anything looks a little bit better than what we originally have. And then we're going to use a couple of filters just to add some more flavor to it. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, go into my filters, stylize, and oil paint. All that does is soften it up just a little bit. I'm going to take the opacity of that layer down just a hair. I'll duplicate the layer one more time. Set it on black and white. Filter, filter gallery, graphic pen, which is under the sketch menu. Play with these settings some. Darken. And bring that opacity down to add a little bit of grit. We'll create one more layer, which I'm going to fill with red. Go to my set that on lighter color. I'll bring the opacity down pretty low. And there we have Ryland.